Once again, what up? Hello, friends. This is Tape Eaters. Doing it when no one's around. I, Yakov, am sick and fucking tired of doing panels. I'll get over it one day. One day soon, but too many goddamn bumps in the road. While I sit here, Yakov sits here. I sit here. I watch my numbers grow. I watch them do better. I'm not talking anything crazy now. But goddamn, I know what I'm doing is working. And for years... Look, man, I'm the only one here with a decent camera who's not afraid to put their fucking face out there, who's got a fucking decent microphone. I feel like I'm the only one in the span of years who's had any interesting takes that can be ran with. I'm at a feeling... I feel like if I just do this myself... Suddenly my channel's not at risk of being taken down. Right? And it's like we've done good content recently. Always weighed down by like an equal amount of content I can never monetize and is just leaving my fucking channel like a sitting duck, right? Right? So Polak has been a huge fucking help lately. That dude's computer crapped out. And for real, support us at streamelements.com/yakovalive/tip. If you want to fucking help out the homies that actually make these shows happen, like, Polak should be here. This should have been half his content. Computer crapped out. He needs a hand. He needs a hand. He's been putting in the effort. But I, for one, am tired of having the same brain dead content on my show that's on every other fucking stream. Is that my fault for fucking not being able to put in the amount of effort I want to put in these days? Yeah, it's my fault. Truly. So we'll figure that out. Give me a whoop whoop if you're in that motherfucking chat. Right now, our boy Matt is mad at me because I said he had wet brain on Twitter. I don't know if he has wet brain. But I will say that I've only gotten sentence fragments out of him for 6 months. So how am I supposed to know better? He DM'd me. He was mad. He's like, if I had wet brain, how the fuck would I do all the things I do during the day? How would I get all the things done? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Last I checked, you were buying Newports and Four Locos and talking funny. Now it's like, I really don't know. But I told him to come on and talk about dinosaurs, and he was busy working outside. Respectable. Respectable. Do you understand me? Do you understand? So I am here to talk about dinosaurs and dragons. Where'd we go? Do I have anything else now? I'm on this fucking dinosaur kick. A lot of people will love dinosaurs. They love those books they read. They love all the theories. Every time there's a new fucking dinosaur theory, there's a new dinosaur theory. Check this fucking shit Jack Horner said for fucking grant money. Check what he just said for grant money, dog. It's always like some whack shit. But if I can use it to further my own goals, I'll take it. I'll take it. Premier paleontologist on planet Earth said this. Fuck! Now, what I'm trying to do here, I was tipped off. I was tipped off at the Gathering of the Juggalos last year by a man named the Drifter that Agartha itself is full of dragons, and they too shall return from the depths. I'm trying to think of different ways I can like package this. It's like not something I believe dinosaurs are coming back. It's the end times, baby. But, like, I actually have heard this take from, like, what the fuck are they called? Like, Paleo-Christians or, like, Paleo-Hebrews or the people who are trying to do, like, exactly what the apostles of Jesus did in the Old Testament. Like, they'll look at the book of Revelation, and they'll read it very literally. And when monsters start coming up from within the earth, like, that's dragons. That's dinosaurs coming back. I heard that from the old Shiite Muslim conspiracy videos I used to listen to. That was the same take. Back when I was ready to believe. I just wanted to believe anything. 50% of it was right, 50% of it was dinosaurs coming back. I don't know. What can I say? What can I say? Now, I have other people. We got Maud here. This is Maud shit. We got his fucking thoughts on the stream now. He always says that they're dragons. They're not dinosaurs. From a very traditional point of view. Now, I think I can get that. I really do. I think dinosaurs is a term that's it's just fucking thrown about like all willy-nilly to the point where it has no meaning. Like, try to define dinosaurs. Like, you've just defined modern birds. And that's not to say that that's wrong, that there weren't groups of dinosaurs that evolved into the birds we know today. I don't know. I do believe in evolution. I think there are massive holes in it. And, like, motherfuckers who spend their lives, their jobs, like, proving evolution or whatever the fuck, like... These motherfuckers are way too convinced, and once again, I come up like convinced that they just want grant money, and they're willing to say anything's fucking true, and I'll fucking slap my name on anything. So like, what does dinosaur mean? It means like, what is it? Bird hipped, I want to say, but it's all about the hips. The definition of dinosaurs has all come down to the hips, that the legs are straight down beneath them, which differentiates them from, like, reptiles, which birds have in common. But it's like, now it's like, all right, well, we have no idea how a creature this tall could even stand. How does the blood get to its head? Oh, yeah, inflatable air sacs. And it's like, this is just madness. It's just madness. Go look at, like, modern paleo art. Everything looks stupid as fuck. They're willing to accept anything. That is the style in paleo art today. But that's what the definition of dinosaur has become. It's too fucking broad. So what do you do to narrow that down? It's like, that's where you go back to dragons. But dragons is completely stagnant. You can't bring dragons, like, you can't scientifically prove things about them to get more information and move forward. Because you're so stuck on those old tales, on those old legends, which are definitely not, like, scientifically accurate. They might have insight to things that happened in the past, into history, into a way things were that we don't realize today. But can we learn anything about, like, the environment of the time, about the ecosystem, about the food chain from like Tales of Dragons? I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe we'll be proven wrong right now. As I take you, my friends, on a walk through Genesis Park. Let's look for some answers in Genesis, as you do. As you do. Let's go to some biblical perspectives on dinosaurs. I love my creationism. I love it. I don't always believe it, but man, do I enjoy it. So let's take a look here. Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were created by God on day 6 of creation, approximately 6,000 years ago today. Dinosaurs were originally vegetarian, baby. During the global flood, many were buried and fossilized, but 2 of each kind survived on Noah's Ark. Dinosaurs eventually died out due to human activity, climate change, or other factors. So yeah, I'm sure we'll go deeper into all of these things. So I don't know that I need to sit here fucking expounding on each fucking fragment of the sentence fragments haunting me all the time. So God on day 6 of creation, I believe that's when all of the land animals were created. 6,000 years ago, that number comes from the genealogies in the Bible. If you add up all of the numbers, you get something around 6,000 years. Dinosaurs were originally vegetarian. That's an interesting one. We got Clint Eastwood indoors in the call here. What up, dude? I haven't seen you around in a while.
Hey, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to jack your shit.
That's cool. I didn't know who would pop in. I could use some new voices.
Yeah, cool, dude. Man. I've been pretty good. Been very busy. How are you doing? I saw you went to your annual convention. It looked like you had a good
The
time.
gathering? Oh, we had a great time at the gathering of the Juggalos. Always the high point. You get back from the gathering and you're like, wait, this is a lot less fun now.
Yeah, I guess
It's
if you make it
normally-
out alive, then it's a success.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I did catch the clown killer variant. Someone died out there from that shit. So,
So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. So, what were your symptoms?
they were all the classics. It kicked my fucking ass. I'll tell you that. COVID kicked my fucking ass. It was all, like, the worst things are the brain fog that lasts, like, at least a week. Like, I'm still feeling it. I'm a little past a week now. I'm fucking just now getting over all this shit. Food still tastes like shit. I can't drink beer. I do.
Really?
I have to sleep somehow, but I don't enjoy it. I'll drink one beer, like pound it. It tastes so bad. And here's the thing. It took me a week to realize that I had COVID because I just thought food tasted bad in Ohio. And it does. It does.
You thought it was just your general GMO tasteless Zog food.
Yeah, that's basically what was going on.
You just thought it was general goy feed. I get it. But so how did you know that it was COVID? Did you get like a PCR test or something?
I was home. I felt so shitty, and I'm the kind of guy. It's like, all right, I feel crappy. You know, whatever. I got a cold or whatever. I got to go to work. It's better for everybody if I go to work, right? That's just the way dudes do, right?
Yeah.
So, before my first shift back, I got a text message from someone we were camping with who's like, everyone's got COVID. You should probably get tested.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
I had some COVID tests lying around that my dad was like, Jesus, it's COVID. Here's all the tests. So I had like a million of them laying around. I got them all for free in the mail. Take them. So yeah,
okay,
I took 2 tests
sorry.
and I was very fucking COVID positive. Yeah.
Well, my autism has to. I'm wondering. So, did you do the Q-tip test, or what test did you do?
Yeah, I shoved that thing up my ass. Shoved 2 of them up my ass.
Is that the new way to do it?
I
Is
think,
that the
dude,
monkeypox test?
I think that's like the original way to do it. My first homie who got tested
right,
for COVID
actually,
was
I
like,
remember-
dude, they shoved it up my ass.
Dude, I saw this was like a year ago, but I saw them in like China. They were demonstrating that. It was going around.
That's so fucked up, man. Such a fucking humiliation ritual. It's
is.
mind-boggling. Yeah, no, I just fucking swabbed my nose. I did 2 tests in a row just to fucking make sure, and I was very positive. Hell yeah.
Wow. Did you? So, but how far did you shove it up? Like, was it uncomfortable? Like, how fucking hard did it tell you to shove it up?
I don't know how far you're supposed to shove it up. Believe me, I jammed it the fuck in there, dude. I don't want to
Goddamn.
miss anything.
Does it like turn?
I'm
is it
not
like
gonna
a
pussy
pregnancy
out.
Test? Is it like a pregnancy test? Is like turn blue or something?
Basically, it's basically
Really?
a pregnancy test. You jam it up your fucking nose, and then you take the swab and you put it in a little like water bottle or like whatever solution, and you put the snot all up in the solution, and then you drop the snot solution onto the fucking pregnancy test.
And so, did your family request those, or did they literally just ship them to fucking people randomly?
I got no answers on that. I have no fucking idea. Anything's possible with these fucking boomers, man. I sincerely do not know. I don't have an answer for that.
It's free. I need it. It's free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't pass it up. It's free.
The most boomer fucking phrase I've ever heard in my life. If it's free, it's for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm assuming it's something like that. Whatever the fuck.
Except for our age.
Yeah. Exactly.
If it's free, then it's bad for you, and they're trying to like turn you.
You're gonna get me on here, fucking derail me from dinosaurs just to stress about fucking boomers. What's the deal with boomers?
No.
Well, I want to now because I was talking about this recently.
Cool.
Why the fuck are boomers? And I know the answer to this. This is a rhetorical question.
Of course you do.
Why the fuck do boomers just think they can get away with fucking anything?
Because they have their whole life.
Well,
Because even if they fucked up their job, there was another job they could get that they could make a livable wage. They bought houses for 20 grand that always went up in value. The country was predominantly homogenous.
That's true.
There was always like things weren't like as fucking. It's like a gauntlet now. Like you fart at the wrong time at work, and it's like, oh, we're gonna write you up, you know. So
Yeah.
they really. Dude,
No,
they just.
I've been
fucking
seeing
rough now.
boomers lately getting away with like sexually harassing like high school girls and shit like that.
What?
And it's
Jesus.
not nothing too bad. Like just like slight fucking flirting and like a purr, and it's like
What the fuck?
If you're past a boomer, you will go to prison for purring at anybody. Like, you don't get away with purring. You can't purr. Purring canceled.
Are you seeing that in real life or online or what?
Some girl, a coworker, was telling me about this. That this guy like constantly does this to the fucking
he purrs at her?
the fucking like 18, 20-year-old girls. Yeah,
Jesus
just like
Christ.
I don't know, weird shit like that. I didn't ask too many questions, but I got the fucking gist of it. But like then I'm thinking about other things, and it's like I'm going on a car ride with my dad. We're doing some shit. And, like, he gets in the car, and he cracks open a beer and hands it to me while I'm driving. And it's like, dude, I appreciate it. I really do. The sentiment and all, love it. Love the sentiment. I'm going to lose my license if we get pulled over, dude. But, like...
No, that's the thing, man. Is, dude, this is something that I fucking hate about boomers. Is, like, if you did get pulled over, they would be like, oh, it's his fault. It'd be like, it's your fault, you know?
Yeah,
like, they never have your fucking back. Yeah. But I'm saying they never have your back. They're like, well, you know, I can't help you. It's like, motherfucker, you're the reason I'm in this situation.
I've lived in small towns where you have, like, the town drunk, who for the past 30 years has just been drunk, driving around town drunk. It's 5 a.m. and he's like snorting a fucking Percocet, like, off the fucking, the like, armrest of his car in the middle of, like, a 7-Eleven parking lot. And, it's like, that's the kind of guy this is. The cops would roll up on him, plastered, and they'd escort him home. Dude, they'd pull me out of that car and beat my ass so fucking quickly, dude. So quickly. Yeah. And I'm sure before they sent him into his house to have a fucking good night, they like sucked his cock on the way in. Like, dude, unfucking real.
No, this society is...
No, why is that? I think that is because the entire infrastructure knows they need that boomer money. The boomers have 90% of the money in our entire fucking economy, and the infrastructure, the establishment, the government, the corporations are all like, that money's going to me when you die.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'll take this further, is my prevailing theory, and this isn't something I pulled in my ass, is that when COVID first started, my initial thought was, holy shit, they're going to wrap this up. And I think it's like some Resident Evil shit where, by all metrics, this whole global economy is fucking bullshit. All these companies that have like $100 billion in assets, they also have like $100 billion in liabilities. Like, this entire system is predicated on like fake, a completely artificial fake system. The richest people don't produce shit. It's all this management, and it's unsustainable. So if you're evil and you're intelligent, you go, well, this isn't going to actually work out. We need a new system, but how do we get rid of this old system, and how do we keep these other people from knowing what's going on? So long story short, what they did is they injected all these people and did other shit, and you know, most people are going to die now, and they're going to try to usher everyone else into like smart cities and shit. And a lot of people think that's really blackpilling. I think it is what it is. I think that I don't necessarily think it's going to work out in the end, but I mean, that's what they did. That's what you would do.
This is going to be the immediate practical effects to most people. If your social credit score is too low, you will not be able to use the facilities in the fucking smart cities that they fucking corral you into.
Yep. And then, but there's just constant elements to it where that is true. And then there's the other element where you have to play this Russian roulette with your body every week, every month, where if you don't get the updated, COVID vaccine or the monkeypox vaccine or whatever, well, then you're not fully boosted. You're not allowed to participate in society. So that's why, like, it's a hard thing to even comprehend, but people have to learn to live like almost without money. You know, and that's obviously that takes a lot of thought and planning, but that's why they have most people are talking about, oh, we need parallel societies and this and that. Most people are too afraid to even know people that they've talked to on the internet for over a year what state they live in. It's like, if you're too afraid to do business with people who are dissidents, like, yeah, you shouldn't trust anybody. But if you've known someone for like a year or two, it's like, what fucking magical parallel society do you think is going to pop up? It's not going to pop up. And if it ever popped up, overnight, then it's just something the system created as controlled opposition to fucking wrangle you and fuck you over.
This is such a macrocosm of the microcosm of people being afraid to like show their faces online.
Yeah,
because it's like this isn't going to stop. It's not like one day they're not going to have your voice saying all of these fucking things. Like it's done. It's fucking done.
No. Let me tell you this. Like these investment places like Fidelity, they already have software where your security is your voice.
Yeah.
So when you call in, look, I don't show my face everywhere on the internet, but I definitely agree with what you're saying that like I have no.
I'm not saying
delusion.
everybody should, but I'm saying
no. I know you're not.
Should.
I'm saying I have no delusions that at the very top they could easily figure out who I am. You know, which is why I say things in certain ways, and also I don't have retarded ideas like boomers do, where it's like, I'm just gonna Fed post on Facebook. This is gonna work out great, you know. But yeah, I mean, they have the technology to. I mean, even if the fucking thing that's always bothered me at this point is like, unless you like always use a voice changer, like you're always using a VPN, like you've never like done, unless you've been perfect for the last like 10 years. Like there is some data of you out there where they can figure out what you believe, who you are, and even if they don't know who you are, just because of how fucked up this system is, you're still not like impervious to just like general, you know, side effects of having this like insane system where you have all these insane people everywhere and, you know, guns everywhere and everything else. And I am
of the belief that they do know exactly who everyone is. I do believe that their fucking software is good enough that no matter how much, whatever voice changer you use, if there's enough fucking audio out there, they will figure it out. Like they know with your social security number, they're gonna they want your fucking information from the VPN, all they have to do is ask for it.
Yes.
They have everything. They know who you are, where you are, everything about you. They know already.
Exactly.
They're calculating it into a social credit score right now that's not fucking public. But soon enough, you're going to be well aware of your social credit score. You will know what it is.
Well, you know what's funny, too, and also just makes me want to, like, tell these fuckers that how dumb they are. It's like, you see this shit online where it's like, oh, LOL, the Metaverse. Isn't this stupid? It's like, dude, most of these people spend 12 hours a day on the internet. You're already in the Metaverse. Like you already exist in the metaverse.
People fucking look at some software, just like a VR chat is essentially what it looks like, and they're like, "This is the future. This is where we're gonna live." It's like, no, dude. This is just some stupid branding. You already exist in this fucking prison. You live there already, dude.
Yeah, and that's why like the problem is that like obviously this stuff isn't quote unquote positive. But you don't have a chance to actually live a good life unless you're aware of this stuff. So the problem is even in like these dissident circles, it's like you start talking about this shit and a lot of people just, oh, they can't do it or you're like paranoid or this and that. It's like, dude, I could do this shit if I had half the fucking resources they do. So they can obviously do that times like 10, and they have stuff that you and I who are pretty educated about this shit, they have stuff that even you and I haven't even like comprehended or thought of yet.
Shit we're barely fucking figuring out. It's barely even heard of. Shit that's gonna take a whole new weird twist in like 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and all these people are like, oh, you know, people who think 5G is a weapon are stupid. It's like, dude, they've leaked the Havana syndrome where it was just like CIA agents in a van like making people throw up by like, you know, focusing like a speakerphone at people in their homes and shit. You know, it's like that's just with basic equipment in a van. Imagine what these fucking 5G towers could be capable of. And it's like to just dismiss all of this stuff because it makes people uncomfortable is exactly why they can keep pushing forward, because people won't even entertain these possibilities when there is information out there about long-range acoustic devices and using microwaves to disperse crowds. And, you know, I mean, this stuff is out there and it's been out there for years. I mean, there's literally
Is
YouTube
this stuff
videos.
so dissimilar than like sonar beaching pods of whales? Is it so dissimilar? Like,
when you know what's interesting? So this is what they do. They study spiders. They study aquatic life. A lot of this technology, they've been obsessed with studying nature and natural kind of phenomenon. Like, a spider has really strong webbing, and then so they study why that webbing is strong, and then they try to make, well, not for civilians or the military because they don't give a fuck about them, but they make body armor and other structures out of a synthetic spider web or something. In the same way they look at sonar stuff from whales or other creatures, and they go, oh, how does this actually work? And then, they do all sorts of experiments on these things, and there are no ethical qualms in reality for these people. And then so they basically develop synthetic artificial technology based off of these natural things, and they always use it to give themselves more power and create a more controlled environment.
Yeah. All right. I want to take that back in. We were talking about like living independently from society,
sure,
and all that, and how like they will find you, like they'll know where you're at. Fucking Waco happened. We have like examples of this shit. But now the thing I learned at the gathering this year is like I think a lot of these festivals, and you were talking about living without money, and that's so key. Now a lot of these festivals, basically what happens is you go to the middle of nowhere, and a bunch of weirdos who want freedom set up a fucking city.
Yeah.
And 50% of what's going on there, at least among the people who have like shown up to take part in the gathering, they are there to like share and barter and all of that. That sense is always there at music festivals. Now, there are like more grassroots events, stuff like the Rainbow Gathering, or like Moon Tribe I'm hearing about, where there is no money allowed. There are no vendors allowed. There is no exchange of money, and everything has to be bartered. So what I'm seeing as a model is basically, and this is what the Rainbow Gathering does, and these are the biggest lefty hippie goober motherfuckers. Like I would love to show up at one of these just to feel it out, to see like what the fuck it's all about. But
I
like
understand.
if you look into it, like it's gonna look pretty gay. It will.
I have to take information. You have to take information where you can get it from.
Yeah, and I do want to preface that, but what I'm saying is like this is a model of a community. They are a true community that views themselves as a family, for better or worse, and they go out and into like federal land in the middle of nowhere, and they fucking set up a city, and they have an entire fucking party, a whole get together, an entire community where it's all based on the barter system.
Yeah, and it probably works pretty decently
for the time it's out there. Now, what I heard is that these people are basically fucking bums, and when they leave that gathering, they go to the nearest city and they just bum around for a while. And now that's my problem with a lot of the festival scene, is that these aren't people who are taking this home. They're not going and learning something about how to be in a society and taking that home and making their community better. They're not doing that.
You're probably like easily one of the smartest people there.
I don't know about that. I don't know. There are very, very intelligent people peppered. That's why I love these festivals, because these people are peppered throughout. Like, these are people who know how to fucking make money without having to really work and just go into parties. Like, they figured some shit out. It's not for everybody, but they figured some shit out for themselves.
Yeah.
But like this is the model. It's like this is what a group of people who value freedom will have to do. They will have to go out into the wilderness, build a city, they'll have their little community, and then the second the establishment gets wind of it, they have to dismantle it, move somewhere else, and the carnival stays on the fucking road, baby.
Huh.
Right? You get what I'm saying? Because they're going to come for you.
Yeah.
You have to keep moving, and these will be the only societies that make it anywhere. And even they're in danger. They're being they would be hunted. But like it's like ICP has talked about buying a compound, the Clown Compound, and just having the gathering there like all the time and just charging for it.
Yeah.
What would happen? But what would happen? The dude.
Well, what would happen?
The media already called ICP the worst band on earth once they started being successful without their dime. The FBI already called them like a terrorist gang.
Yeah, true.
So what's next when they get their compound?
Well, I'll tell you what they would get someone in there who like either does something illegal or like there's some sort of accident that they make happen, and then it's deemed like a like a federal liability or something, and then they shut everything down.
I think from day one, it would be called a fucking doomsday cult is what it would be.
Yeah,
I
you're
do
probably
believe
right.
That. They have an entire fucking like metaphysical lore. It's not that fleshed out, but it's enough for the feds to come and say that this is a doomsday cult where you're just selling drugs and shit.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are like categorically fringe, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. And that's
I think
like,
it's a good way. They're
no, it
folk
is good.
heroes.
You have to be fringe at this point to actually be revolutionary, and not in some sort of like Antifa like retarded way, but in terms of like actually getting some sort of independence. And yeah, so but the thing is like unfortunately most people still are normies. So I'm not shitting on this. Like I'm saying, unfortunately, I'm not being negative. And I don't know, you're not taking this way, but fucking so many people have said I'm fucking negative, and it's just like I'm not fucking negative. You just
That's what happens when
if
you're a realist, brother. When you're pragmatic at all.
you have to criticize. Like if you want something, you have to think of the fucking pitfalls so that you actually get what you want. Because otherwise, you're just like running on hope, and usually you're going to be disappointed. So unfortunately, if when you're fringe, normies, the masses, like because of the media machine and all these fucking black box, black mirror devices that everyone has, they can convince most people that like, oh yeah, these people are like totally like insane and they don't have all their COVID vaccines. Like we need to shut this down for public health or some bullshit,
Yeah.
So you have to not only form a community, like you can't just have victory gardens or whatever. You have to be able to fucking defend them. Like you have to like be completely dedicated to what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just kind of a hobbyist. And unfortunately, in this system and world we live in, the system has no problem killing anybody. So unless you're willing to dedicate your life to what you believe in, which ain't that hard if you really believe in it, then you're vulnerable, and you are just vulnerable. And that's a hard thing for people, because a lot of people just want to show up at like, they want to show up at the ethno state, or they want to show up at like the parallel society and just walk in there. And it's like, no, you're going to have to make it happen. And like, you have to be dedicated to it. You're not going to be able to just walk in there and start barking orders, or like, oh, I don't like how this is run. Well, it's like, well, did you create any of it?
Yeah.
Like, why should anyone listen to you? And like, these are all these really basic things where it's like
the bare minimum, really, dude.
Yeah, it's like these are the most basic things. Like, if you want a parallel society, then you need people in real life that you can like, instead of going to the grocery store, you can buy tomatoes from fucking neighbor James. It's like, and your other neighbor down the street or somebody is a mechanic and he fixes everyone's vehicles and shit.
Yeah.
And some other guy knows healthcare.
Big time. Like one of my issues with like making content now is that everybody wants to do like the same talking points, the same style from like 2015.
It's horrible. I've been taking a break from all this shit. It's awful.
It's like you show up on YouTube, you drop a bunch of slurs, you get fucking banned, and then you're like, why would the Jews do this? And it's like, dude, you knew the rules. We have to find a better way. You have to be able to express your points without just spurging out like a fucking retard.
That's why I'm on Odyssey. On Odyssey right now, you can just do anything.
I would love to be on Odyssey. I want to be on Odyssey. Believe me, if it was up to me, I'd be on some fucking alternative platform. But the problem is, it'll have 2 viewers live.
Yeah.
And over the course of the next year, it'll get 5.
You know what's funny, bro, is I've got like a small channel on there that I started like a month ago. Just come and post like lifting shit and some memes and shit. But I posted a video where it's that fake Dr. Tedros, and it says how he's not vaccinated. I like woke up one day and like that video has like 2,500 views now. And
I believe it.
In the description, I wrote like, "Doctor gives me that," and all this shit. And it's funny because I think a bunch of like truthers and conspiratards found it. And then they read the description, like, who the fuck is this guy,
Yeah.
But
yeah. And that's how you do it. You have to post, like, random shit like that, and it gets a bunch of views from people. That's the fucking top video on my channel is, like, Chuck Schumer shoos a demon out of his chair on the Senate floor. It's some schizophrenic filming their television while Chuck Schumer does this. And it's got, like, 1 million views, and it was featured on InfoWars.
But Yakov, we have to wake up the masses.
God, but masses. Like, it's so sad. This is the garbage you have to post if you actually want to get views. And that makes sense. That on these alternative fucking platforms populated by fucking retards from 2012 and schizophrenics, that's the shit that gets viewed. Like, but that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that.
You're too smart and you care too much. But unfortunately, and I'm the same way, man. It's like a burden, and that's why like. Dude, I've written off the masses, and it's not like they're worth saving. And like I know some people really feel bad about that, but it's like, dude, these people don't care about anything. They don't care about trees. They don't care about animals. They just care about, well, I just want to be able to play video games all day or do this. It's like, well, if you want to do that, then you got to like set up the fucking society where you can play video games all day. Because otherwise, it ain't happening, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I didn't make this fucking system, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So, yeah, I think a lot of people would be benefited from getting offline. Like, because the thing is, if you need to be anonymous, get the fuck offline. Period. Like, if you don't want to get doxxed and harassed, get the fuck offline.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I have my life. I'm somewhat impervious to some things. I still don't, you know, make everything known about me, but like, there are people where, you know, they got like families and other things, and you know, a real kind of like high corporate job, and it's like, you know, those are the people who should be kind of like secretly funneling money to things that they think are useful for their own beliefs. And that's the other thing, is like, these fucking people want like a goddamn organization and you to work like 50 hours a week putting out content that's relevant to the world. And it's like, they want you to do it for free. And it's like, dude, like, it's like, what's wrong with you? It's like,
strategy is a lost art, man. This is the way I see it, is like,
a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
Well, we exist in this fucking internet information age, and there was a time when everyone was like, "Oh, everybody has all this information now. Everybody can know anything." But that's not the way it worked out. That's not the way it worked out. What you have is you have 95% of people who are just looking for the easiest, most brain dead content possible and will believe whatever the fuck pats their ass. And you have 5% of people who have realized that they're fucking Henry Kissinger with their smartphone and their Twitter account. And they can make these fucking people believe fucking anything.
That's a great way to put it.
The gap between these people has never been larger when it should have been shrinking this whole time. And that's just the commodification of the internet, really.
Dude, that's actually that really nails it, man. That actually describes how I've been feeling in really simple terms. And that's kind of why, like, there are people like you and other people else I stay in touch with and I like, but there's a lot of stuff where it's like, you know, I've been like the fucking crazy person saying, yeah, COVID's coming back, and people are like, no, man, they've moved on from it. I'm like, they're never moving on from it. I read everything when COVID came out. I was like in a fucking movie, like scouring the internet for every goddamn thing about it, and I found about Bill Gates and ID 2020 and all this digital shit, and how MIT's been working on nanotech infusing with your fucking muscle tissue for like years. It's like, this is their big fucking thing. They're never letting it go. This is how they're going to usher everyone into the fucking transhumanist digital age. And everyone is just like, these people who figured out like some, you know, like some really serious historical events are fake and manipulated. It's like, they can believe in that conspiracy, but the only conspiracies fucking like half of these people believe in is the Holocaust and fucking Operation Gladio. That's the only two things I ever hear about.
Yeah. There's
no other conspiracies that exist besides those two things, you know?
All the fucking the digital currency, the vaccines, all this shit leading up to the mark of the beast. Like, this isn't fucking old shit. They've been talking about this for decades. And guys like Alex Jones should get their fucking due. They call Alex Jones out for fucking, I don't know what his Sandy Hook hologram thing, whatever the fuck. And it's like, dude, I've heard far more bold-faced lies from the mainstream media. If we're going to start fucking, like, prosecuting journalists, like, Alex Jones, the goddamn hero, motherfuckers. Fuck off.
He did cuck though and say,
well,
like,
but
I'm not
ruined his life.
he basically called all his supporters crazy, didn't he? He was just like, yeah, all those kids did die.
They completely ruined his life. They completely ruined his
life.
To the point where his most memorable quote now is when the prosecution asked him, what's your son's teacher's name? And he's like, I don't know, I ate a big bowl of chili.
What did he say?
I don't know, I just ate a big bowl of chili.
Oh my god.
Which is funny as fuck, but they ruined that guy's life. He is fueled by Jack Daniels, cocaine, and chili currently, and has no recollection of anything that has happened. He has no idea what's going on. He's fucked up.
The significant thing about that whole charade of a trial is that now they have the pretext to go after anybody on the internet who is big and is kind of showing alternative news.
Most definitely. That was the point of crucifying him.
And I'll say this, and I'll shut up, is that Dude, they were passing so much legislation the last 2 years for censorship, and it's all because when COVID comes back, mostly, COVID, quote unquote, when people start dying from climate change, quote unquote, they're going to have the internet completely locked down. You're not going to the masses are not going to find your 1,000 subscriber Telegram channel or your 50,000 subscriber Telegram channel. Even if you got a Telegram channel, Donald Trump on Telegram has less than 1 million subscribers. Okay, 1 million people is less than 1% of the world of America's population. So we're talking such a small amount of people who know anything about anything that what's up at this point. People know things are fucked up, but they don't know all these details. And there's so many fucking landmines in the society that there is no downside to knowing as many things as possible about how the system works, because you make one wrong move, you take one wrong shot, you say the wrong thing, and your life can forever be changed. It's a gauntlet. And that's what people still won't fucking internalize. And it's hard, but the answer is to be smart online and do what you can in real life. And that's the best chance you got. And if there's a God or whatever, I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Christian, but I don't believe in nothing. The best thing anyone can do is just do the best they can and find people that they can care about and work with and go from there.
Yeah.
And that's the basic shit people should have been doing 5 years ago.
Yeah. While we're talking about return of COVID and Christianity and that sort of thing, my take on all this, I don't know if COVID is coming back. I don't know if monkeypox will ever fucking catch on. I guess it has to some extent, not to a point where it even like comes close to my life in any way. But here's the thing: is like that agenda will not go away, and I do believe in the Bible. I don't call myself a Christian because Christians don't call me a Christian.
Well, the Bible is a playbook. At the very least, it's a playbook.
And I absolutely believe that all of this COVID shit and all of this the social credits score, the fucking digital currency, all of this shit is going to converge as the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And if you don't take it, they will kill you. That's when you know that all these people, the Bible says they will cut your head off if you don't take it. I don't know how literal the decapitation is. It's fucking possible. Maybe there's a reason for that. Look out for it. Well, I am waiting for when they start just killing people.
I'll tell you, I was told by a friend of mine that it's because it's the belief that like if they cut off your head, your spirit can't like rise from the end of your spine, and like it's something like along those lines where we're a sense like, we're basically like a brain cord, and, our brain and our spinal cord is what sends all the nerve signals, everything. And it was some belief that like, if you cut the head off, then like you've severed the kind of like spiritual ascendance into the next realm. I'm not saying that's true. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck you prove that, but that's the belief.
At this point, man, I wouldn't be surprised if that was some sort of metaphor for like replacing your like human soul, your consciousness, with just like an automaton. Where like Elon Musk's fucking Neuralink fucking tells you what to do all the time.
Well, you want to talk about the Bible real quick? That quote in the Bible that stuck with me is, people will seek out death and will flee them. And I used to not like zombie games or zombie movies. I always thought it was fucking stupid. But then for some reason, I think I was high playing like one of those Resident Evil games, and I started paying attention to the story. And I have a background in like exercise physiology and how the body works and all that. And I started really paying attention, like, holy fuck, that you could potentially actually do this in reality. There's some leaps in logic and you'd have to have these capabilities. But the more and more I looked into it, it was like, holy fuck, all this new technology that they're developing. Like, they're talking about self-assembling nanotechnology. They're talking about self-repairing nanotechnology. There was something recently that got posted. It was a news article about how like they were able to re-stimulate like dead pig organs or whatever. So they're able to like re-stimulate like organs at a low level. So, zombies have a very low level of existence. So long story short, like they can potentially like you can die in a way, but like if they can have stuff in you to stimulate you to a certain degree, you're essentially not dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you're just like
that's crazy shit. Never thought about that, but like this is like it takes me right back to the old conspiracy videos when YouTube was good. Like, this was the shit they would talk about. They'd be like, dinosaurs are coming back. Zombies are going to be real. This is all, what is it? Predictive programming for the end times. Yes. It's happening.
Yes.
That's what I would be. And I'm at a point where it's like, I realize this about myself. This is what I'm in. I'm in favor of all dissidents. If you are any sort of dissident that wants to bring down the current establishment, you are my ally. Because I am not even, we're not remotely close enough to sitting down and trying to formulate what like a good system would be. We're not even fucking remotely close. The only way we can get to that point is by burning down this whole motherfucker, which I frankly don't think is going to happen. But my political stance right now is if you are against this system, you are my friend, whether you believe anything even close to me or not.
Well, really, the way it will work is that there are going to be massive casualties soon. And the whole thing that people, like anyone who cares can do, is there will be windows of opportunity. And also, like, when you have billions of people dying, when you have all of the crazy changes that are going to take place, not over the next 50 years, but over the next 3 fucking years, things are going to happen so rapidly because that's how, it's shock and awe. It's a war. It's just a new type of warfare. So if you want people to be desperate and broken, they're going to pull the fucking rug out from underneath people when they least expect it. And that's going to be in the form of blackouts, food shortages, people dying from climate change, quote unquote. You know, you're going to have all these, droughts. You're having these geoengineered droughts. Lake Mead in Vegas is drying up. When Lake Mead is gone, Las Vegas, 2 million people. Where the fuck do they go? They got no water. There are all these massive macro things happening. And that's why I know you and I can't deal. I don't participate anymore with most of this online shit because it's like you motherfuckers are missing all the important shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump or any of this shit or whatever the fuck you're talking about. If I don't have fresh water to drink, none of this matters. Yeah. If I can't eat food that's not laced with Bill Gates's third strand of DNA or some shit, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I talk to these boomers and dude, I know someone who has replaced Jesus with Donald Trump. And they are got this whole weird theology, and this is shit that's being fucking grifted onto them by weird scammers on Rumble and shit.
Fuck Rumble.
This is the end times. John F. Kennedy Jr. is alive, and also he's the bloodline of Jesus. Dude, man, people are literally just being scammed to death. Totally missing the boat. It's just brutal.
It's their own fault. It's their own fault.
It is. But these are the people who could.
Yeah, Rumble is
if they had listened to Alex Jones in 2012, they'd be perfectly fine. Is all I'm saying. They'd be good.
Yeah, it's actually true, man.
I believe it. True. I wouldn't be here if Alex Jones wasn't fucking talking shit back in 2007 to that period where he was real fucking active on YouTube. I wouldn't be here.
The thing is, you can simplify this down to, dude, they literally got away with murder on 9/11, and then they fucking used it to do the Patriot Act and all this shit. The same evil government that existed before anyone became a dissident is the same evil government that has more power today. So any idea that you're gonna it's dude, they have more power than ever. So it's I've seen some of these people who think they're getting into positivity shit and things will just work out. I don't even know how to fucking phrase this without droning on, but basically it's
go on.
It's even if COVID didn't fucking exist, the same government that got away with 9/11 is still the same fucking government that exists today. Nothing has changed. It's just gotten more powerful. So how the fuck are you gonna? Don't tell me you have the answers or the fucking. You're just gonna be positive. That's not a solution.
My outlook on positivity has changed so fucking drastically, And when I talk to my mother, her biggest concern with things is whether things are nice or not. Yeah. What the fuck? That has no meaning. Yeah. That changes day to day, dude. Yes. And you can't keep up with that. But she's still worried about what's nice in 1985 or whatever. So it's all fucked up. So I go to like hippie shit and I talk to hippies and like they're all worried about positivity. They don't want any negativity. And it's like you're just worried about one side of the
I don't
coin.
want to talk about this, bro. I'm not feeling this right now, bro.
What is positivity? It is
well, clearly, Yakov, it's not actually solving any of these negative problems because that means that you might actually have to feel some sort of short-term discomfort, you know, and you can't have that.
Is executing war criminals positive? And it's like I'm asking people who obviously think that it is. I'm talking people who obviously think that.
No, man, we need to convert. We need to make them see the error of their ways, and then give them like a nice little camp to live out the rest of their lives in.
I feel like I'm on some Jordan Peterson shit right now, but the fact is, like, true positivity, like the true ability to make a difference and be a good force is to be able to embody the light when you have to embody the light and embody the dark when you have to embody the dark. Yeah. You don't embody the light when you're supposed to embody the dark, and don't embody the dark when you're supposed to be embodying the light. And that's like, you know, easier said than done, but that is the journey we're all on. That's the hero's journey.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, you know, you have to be really committed and dedicated to this shit. Otherwise, you just don't have what it takes. You just, you know, you're going to drop off when things become uncomfortable. But the real stupidity in being like that is that you're going to be uncomfortable at some point anyway. Okay, you have the best chances of surviving and living the life you want is if you're completely dedicated to what you believe in and what you're about. And most people, unfortunately, aren't about much. But if you actually do have beliefs and you have a dream and stuff, you have to be dedicated to it, even when things are good, even when things are bad. Because otherwise, you're letting the system kind of crush your will. And there was actually an interesting article released by the Department of Homeland Security. This was like this year, and it fucking depressed me a little bit. But I know it doesn't apply to me, you know, because I still have my will. But they literally said, the Department of Homeland Security, that effectively it was like 95 to 99. I think if they said 95% of Americans like don't have free will anymore. Like they've been able to like hack people's free will, and they've done it through incentivizing, you know, things and other stuff. Basically, people don't work in their own self-interest. Like they just the only self-interest they have is like, you know, money and shit and status, but they can't think beyond that. They can't think like, it's so ironic. Like these people, the only thing they think about long-term is their finances. They don't think about their health. They don't think about their relationships. They don't think about the bigger picture in society. Like, well, who cares if I'm a millionaire if everything I fucking buy is some cheap shit that's going to fall apart in 5 days from Amazon? Or I can't buy a fucking apple. I got to buy fucking bug milk, you know, that's got parasites in it. So who gives a shit if you're a fucking millionaire if the only thing your money is good for is fucking garbage?
Yeah. That's the thing. And I think all of us who like wage slave, we know that feeling. It's just like all you can do is keep your head down and just try to get the fuck through it. But there's no end. Yep. There's no end. Like they want you dead. They want you to work to death.
Yeah, it's energy harvesting. And this is what this whole fucking system is about. And that's why the whole nanotech thing and infusing it with your body is the apex of the, you know, it's exactly what the controllers would do. People know that, you know, the people in charge are subversive and evil. Well, what's a better subversive evil system where they're infiltrating your physical body and milking your energy, your literal life force for all it's worth, and then like literally keeping you alive after death to either terrorize other, you know, the masses or
scare the shit out of your family, keep you intubated so they know you got to get that fucking vaccine. Look at that motherfucker.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the thing that people, and it's hard, especially if you're younger. But the thing is, there's so many adults where it's like, dude, if you're an adult, you have to be a fucking adult. Don't fucking pretend to me that you're a fucking adult when you won't admit, like, evil exists. Evil is real. This system is brutal. Don't fucking tell me some hopium bullshit. Because I'm not hopeless. But what drives me, like, makes me, like, fucking angry or just, like, really fucking, it's like, I feel like I'm dying inside listening to some of these people. It's like, you know, they don't think right. They just don't think right. They just think in these stupid, childish, like, terms where it's like, it's like the whole vote harder thing, or we just need new politicians, or we just need to, like, create parallel societies. It's like, motherfucker, how are you going to do that? Like, I hear people, it's like, if I had 100,000 people who all believed in what I did, I could change the world. It's like, well, the whole fucking hard part is getting those 100,000 fucking people, retard. It's like saying,
it's funny as fuck to me. It's like,
yeah, no, it is.
Where are 100,000 motherfucking Wignat Spurgs? Where are my people? It's like, it's called Saudi Arabia, dude. They work for Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, if I had $1 trillion, like, I could fix the system. It's like, well, how do you get it?
Yeah.
How are you going to get $1 trillion? How many foreskins are you going to have to eat? And how many children are you going to have to, like, put in a fucking bog, you know, to get $1 trillion, you know? Like, I mean, that's the perfect example. It's like, these people are like, well, they don't even come up with a solution. It's just like this fucking delusional shit. It's like, dude, they don't give money to people like that unless you're like a fucking sellout, like an order follower. You're not a billionaire unless you're fucking Bill Gates. Bill Gates exists, so if some normie spurgs out and kills Bill Gates, nothing happens. Because Bill Gates doesn't fucking run shit. He's the fucking face. All of these people exist so that if someone spurgs out and kills them, nothing changes.
Yeah.
You know? But and when you're younger, it's fine if you think if you're like teenager or early 20s and you think Bill Gates is like the most evil dude ever. It's like, all right, you know, at least you know you're aware of him, but he's not the top of the food chain.
That's what I want to see. I need to see people like moving through ideas, like be like water, my friend.
They're not, man. They're not.
I know.
Yeah,
and that's because that's where I was. I never fucking stayed stagnant, man. I moved through a bunch of little fucking movements. And here's the thing: they all thought we're about to win. It's right. We're about to do it. We're about to prove to everyone that 9/11 was an inside job. We're about to fucking prove that fucking the neocons are all Zionists. We're about to fucking prove that the white genocide is real. Where it's about to happen. Never fucking happens. Like these movements are for you to mature to the point where you can think for yourself and like you can be the source of ideas and you never have to fucking be a fucking pawn to this shit again.
Yes, even if the internet goes down, you've learned enough and you've developed yourself as a person where now you are some sort of force of good in the world. Because that's the core of it, you know. And people, I actually do hate saying it. People haven't done that. Some people have, most haven't. That's why I think we're at a point, and this is my theory, and it's my own personal one, and we'll see if I'm right in a few months. I think people are at a point now where they're very vulnerable. They've gotten so complacent. They didn't learn the shit they should have learned from the beta tests of COVID in 2020 and 2021. And I think they're going to come back with a vengeance this fall and winter with fucking lockdowns and shit. And what are people going to do? You already know what they're going to do. People
line
put
up.
on the fucking People put on the fucking mask. Yeah. Yeah, because this time, and I fucking said this for a goddamn year, all they need to make this shit fucking real and silence almost all alternative sources is if people actually start dropping dead and they have censorship, every fucking thing that 90+% of these people are going to see is, oh, COVID's back, and then Fauci, these fucking idiots think Fauci's gone. He'll be back in 3 months saying, well, you know, if they all listened to me and wore the mask and got vaccinated, then we wouldn't have this new outbreak of the, you know, COVID 2023. That's the mutant virus, you know? That's all they have to fucking do. And most people who don't know shit, even dissidents, you know, dissidents will fucking grovel about it, but the masses are just going to fucking go along with it because, unfortunately, most of the masses are not like great people. You know, they don't care about really anything that fucking matters, and that's why they're so easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, you need to realize, and especially if you want to make a difference in this society, you have to realize that the shit you believe isn't in a vacuum. The shit you believe should be a reaction to what's going on. And as situations change, you need to change. It doesn't mean you have to kowtow to it. You don't have to do what they say. What you have to do is figure out a new strategy. Is what you have to do to survive.
Yes, and these people have no fucking strategy. Their strategy is that they go all in on something because people say, well, Clint, what's going to happen if COVID doesn't, what if people don't start dying this fall? It's like, for me, I'm going to keep doing what I've been fucking doing the last 3 years. I'm going to keep, growing more food. I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep learning all the things I can. I'm going to become as self-sufficient and independent as possible. I'm going to do that the rest of my fucking life. So nothing changes for me. And for these motherfuckers who I've gotten challenged on a lot of this shit, so there are people who agree with me, but the people who challenge me on this, it's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do if you wake up one day and your power's out and it's not coming back on for fucking 3 weeks? What happens when people start dropping dead and they bring back lockdowns and you can't even go state to state without a fucking vaccine checkpoint? Yeah. What are you going to do then? And none of these people got a fucking answer, because there is no fucking answers. Because unless you're willing to break the law or do something crazy, you're fucked. They're going to lock shit down. Most people are going to go along with it. And that's fucking that. And you're in fucking hell world then.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in hell world. So I'm preparing to not be in hell world.
This is all why, I can't sit here and talk politics. I can sit here and, rant about, dissident shit, and it's the end times. This is the Antichrist system. I can do all that. But if I tried to talk about politics, I would immediately say something illegal. I would immediately be like, cut down the tall trees, smash the cockroaches, cut down the tall trees. They would come fucking kicking in my door, dude.
What's funny is what's really interesting about the time we're in now is you can actually say a lot of crazy shit. You just can't talk about the most retarded shit. If you say something positive about Donald Trump, which I don't really have anything positive to say about him, but if you say something positive about Donald Trump or something negative about Nancy Pelosi, it's that's what the FBI is looking for.
You're right.
It's
and that's the thing is the fucking that line is it's such a position where it's
it's a good position for us actually.
I don't know that it don't work for me because I know the things I want to say are incitements of illegal acts.
So do you actually want to talk about politics?
No, I think where we're at right now is good. This is as close as I can get to it. I think we've had a very good discussion for an hour, and I think the chat wants to hear about dinosaurs. But I will say that this was related because we were talking about boomers.
Well, all the dinosaurs,
extinction.
All the dinosaurs are fake. They just made paper mache molds and they put them in museums, and it's a giant psyop.
Yeah, indeed.
JK.
All right, let me hit chat a little bit because I've totally fucking neglected it. I've enjoyed the conversation, so I didn't want to stop it.
Well, here, did you want to say anything else about politics or anything real quick?
Not really. They have names and addresses. That's all I got. That's what my point is. That's all I got.
Multiple addresses. They're all rich.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jugs, in reference to me talking about dissidents.
They've got clones. They've got body doubles, too. So you don't...
That's true. Christ, goddamn. We're going to prove my hologram theory right. Jugs talking about my take on dissidents says, that's the right attitude, Yak, but unfortunately too many dissidents are theory cells suits that are addicted to... Is that what that says?
Theory cells. That's pretty funny.
That are addicted to debate. And I don't mind the debate.
Debating is so gay.
It is gay. It is gay. But my real problem with debate is that they're not realizing who their real enemy is. The other incel is not your real enemy.
They're not doing debate the right way. The purpose of debate is hey, we're both friendly and we're trying to decide which is the truth.
Exactly.
So it's it's not supposed to be this blood sports thing. It's supposed to be a learning process.
Yeah.
An amicable learning process, but they've turned it into this fucking I'm gonna fuck this guy over. And
what gets Donos? Donos is you're a Jew. No, you're a pedo.
Yep.
that's
I'm gonna
the
dox you. I'm gonna ruin your life because it's just Jesus Christ. I want nothing to do with this shit.
Yep. Jug says boomers made up dinosaurs when they were really just birds.
Well,
maybe. I'm trying to put that together in my head. Made up dinosaurs when they were really just birds. So.
Well, there has been all that shit coming out about how the T-Rex had feathers, probably. You've heard that shit.
Yeah. Yes, and I think a lot of that there is something to it. But the winged serpent is also a classic motif in mythology. So
you think You think the dinosaurs came from the Van Allen belts that we came through?
God, now we're getting real weird. That's what I want to do. So I'm gonna have to do the research to find out.
We had dinosaurs, but we can't make them again.
Yeah,
We lost the technology.
The Anunnaki made them, and then they left. Midwest Vikinger gives a whoop whoop in the fucking chat. Jugs fucking loves science, bro. Mugwort asks federal land, so no bringing dogs then. Well, that's the beauty of federal land, that there's a shitload of it. There's so fucking much, they won't find you for a week, then you move. You can bring the dog. It's all good. The funny thing is, when I look at a lot of these festivals where they're like, are no rules, but it's assumed you're going to be a hippie dork, it always says, like, bringing animals is strongly discouraged, but if you do, bring a leash. So dogs are basically welcome. Hell yeah. Whoopie Ridge, Jug says. That's what we're going to have when ICP gets their compound. Whoopie Ridge. They want people afraid because energy vampires are real. I think we went over that pretty well. Alex Jones was right about the frogs turning gay, Pest says. That's the thing about Alex Jones, is that everything he said was, like, ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. But also true. That's why he did so well. Lemon in the chat. The masses don't know about dinosaurs? Strategy of dinosaurs? Fuck yeah. Monsignor says, I don't believe in dinosaurs. All of the fossils are just dragons that got their wings removed by CIA as a cover-up operation so the Bible doesn't look legitimate. This is what I want. You are my people. Help me with my theory here. Dinosaurs are coming back. It's the end times, baby. K's in the chat. Dino Jelk whoop whoop. Top tier 2020 was top tier blood sports here. Fuck. Just making fun of Ralph, I guess. Alright, so let's get on to the fucking dinosaur content. When did dinosaurs live? Evolutionists claim dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. But it's important to realize that when they dig up a dinosaur bone, it does not have a label attached showing its date. The Bible states that God made the land animals, including dinosaurs, on day 6. So they date from around 6,000 years ago. How do we feel about that? For me, I think the 6,000 years number is probably stupid. Like I said, it comes from the genealogies in the Bible that add up to 6,000 years. But for me, what I was always taught was that the word day in the Bible comes from a word that means an unspecified period of time. It's just a period of time. Aeon and Años were always used in kind of the same sense, like forever and ever. There is no forever and ever in the Bible. That shit ends. It is into the aeons, is what it actually means. And that's age by age. So that doesn't end for God. Types of dinosaurs. Dude, I swear to God, I used to be able to say these names. Hypsilophodon foxy was one of the first dinosaurs discovered in 1849. Tyrannosaurus rex, first described in 1905, this tyrant lizard king still holds the crown as the largest and most fearsome terrestrial predator ever discovered in North America. The sauropods, lizard feet, included the largest land animals in history. A newly uncovered dinosaur, Albertoceratops nesmoi, had horns about 3 feet long, located right above its eyebrows. What the hell does that have to do with the Bible? Dinosaurs in the Bible. As you add up all the dates in the Bible, you'll come to the conclusion that the creation of the earth and animals, including the dinosaurs, occurred only thousands of years ago, not millions of years ago. Thus, if the Bible is right, and it is, dinosaurs must have lived within the past few thousands of years. So implying that man and dinosaur have walked side by side. That is the implication. Behemoth in the Bible. 2 great creatures, Behemoth and Leviathan, are described by God in Job. Some commentators have suggested Behemoth was an elephant or hippo, but the description simply doesn't match. Behemoth moves his tail like a cedar. Now, think about a tail like a cedar in reference to a hippo or an elephant. It does not really work. It appears God is describing a sauropod dinosaur and a fearsome, now extinct sea creature. Clint, have you ever heard about these? Clint's not even in here anymore. What the fuck happened? He's free to be here. He's welcome. Let me let Clint know that he's allowed to be here. Let's let him know. free to hang out, man, by the way. Free to be on anytime. Didn't need to leave, by the way. Does anybody know what the soundtrack is? Does anybody know? Senor's in the call. Does Senor have any ideas about dinosaurs? No, just me. Let's go on. Leviathan in the Bible. Though technically not a dinosaur, but rather a marine reptile that may have also been able to come up onto land. A marine reptile that may have also been able to come up onto land. Leviathan can correctly be called a dragon, which includes terrestrial, aquatic, and aerial reptiles. Cool. I'm curious about that. Like, where are they getting these different like subsections of dragon, as it has it in quotes here? Like, now I know there are aerial, aquatic, and terrestrial dragons in like mythology. I guess that's just what it's called, what it's referring to. But yeah, I'm going to go on a little more about this denotation as Leviathan as a dragon, too. So, in the biblical book of Job, God challenges Job by questioning his ability to capture Leviathan and make it his servant. Leviathan is not a creature that little children can play with and is too large for traders to sell. God reminds Job that if a man is even thinking of capturing Leviathan with harpoons or fishing spears, then he needs to consider the battle that will take place. If he does engage in battle with Leviathan, it will be the first and only time. Leviathan cannot be subdued by any man. This is a false hope, as he is laid low even at the sight of him. Alright, so, Leviathan. Where does this story come from, and is it a classic dragon? According to some, it is. According to some, this Leviathan could be the original dragon myth. Some people will say, and I think this is probably the best theory, is that Leviathan in the Bible comes from the myth of Chaoskampf, which is a German word that means the struggle against chaos. This is supposed to be one of the original myths of mankind that's found all over the world, and it always features a sky god subduing a dragon serpent being that is from below.
And versus lizard
It's K. What up, dude?
What's up?
So yeah, Chaoskampf, man. So you know about this story where the sky god defeats the dragon from below? Have you heard it in any of its forms?
Oh yeah, the fucking Birdman, who's like friends with the Thunder God, he totally like swoops down and eats up all the snake.
So what is this? Is this some Indian stuff? This is the Nagas?
Oh yeah, it's like the Garudas and the Nagas. You find it all over South Asia.
So you do find it. You find it all over Asia. You find it in Europe. You find it in the Middle East. You find it in like North Africa. You find it in Mesoamerica. And that's the real weird one. Because everybody thinks they have like their little fucking their map for how like this, what they say is like the Indo-European myth came down from the north and populated everything. Yeah. But like how the fuck did it get to Mesoamerica? And there might be an answer for that. I'm not trying to say that there's like no way to answer that, but like at the same time, there's probably something archetypal about all of this.
Well, what if it was brought over by them cone-head, red hair people from Iran with the reed boats?
Possible.
And the potting wheels and the date palms.
That's as possible as
anything. They're like in Iran, and then they show up in like South America, like on the coast of Brazil or some shit, out of nowhere. And they're just like, hey, we brought reed boats and potting wheels, and nobody in fucking South America invented a wheel.
Yeah. And it's not like unbelievable. There's a lot of ways that you can get to South America. Like there's a lot of theories about, from Polynesia, all over the fucking place. It's doable. It's doable. So
apparently so.
Now Leviathan, the reason in the biblical book of Job God says is Leviathan. He's too large. He cannot be subdued. It is a false hope. Now, this is the God of the Bible shitting on this sky god who defeated the serpent entity. That's what's going on in this story. So it's a different take on the same Chaos Conf myth, but it's saying that sky god sucked. I'm the real god. I'm the god of everything. I made Leviathan.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Humans and dinosaurs together? Biblical creationists believe that man and dinosaurs lived at the same time because God said that he created man and land animals on day 6. There is historical evidence of dinosaurs and man living together, such as the petroglyph in Natural Bridges, Utah, legends and stories of dragons in Europe, and the dragon motif in China. But one striking artifact in Asia is the bas-relief picture of a dinosaur in the ruins of Angkor, outside of Siem Reap, Cambodia. Siem Reap. Now, that image is not here. It's flat out just not provided. So, I don't know. You can fucking Google it or take my word for it. Fuck it.
Where is it being? Where is it? Because I've been to Angkor Wat, and there's a lot of temples there, but I ain't seen no dinosaur.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information here, so I'm not exactly sure how the fuck I would even find it. I'll give it the old college try.
I tell you. The kings who built Angkor Wat, they did worship a serpent god, and the king actually had to, every night, the serpent god is supposed to appear in his bedchamber in the form of a beautiful woman, and then he has sex with her. And if she doesn't appear and they don't have sex, then they have to do some kind of, I forget what, like a sacrifice or something to appease the snake god so that she'll appear in human form and have sex with the king so that it'll rain and the whole place will be fertile.
Yeah, once again, in Asia, like the serpent kings is very, very common too. Like the emperors in China said that they are dragons. They are from the blood of dragons.
Yep. Now it's funny because like in Laos, if I remember correctly, yeah, like Laos or Burma, I can't remember which it is. It's like Laos or Burma. They're like, oh, we're the snake dynasty, you know, or the Naga kings or serpent kings. And then like Cambodia, same deal. They're like serpent kings. But then like right in between there's Thailand, and they're like, nah, man, we're bird people. We're bird kings.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. So
they fight each other too. So.
That's sick. So you have the Chaos Conf myth like reenacting itself in these people today.
Oh yeah. So, well, not so much today, but like historically, yeah.
Gotcha. So
Cambodia and Laos are like communists now, right? So
commies. So I have on screen the image of a dinosaur from Angkor Wat. And now
holy shit, look at that.
Yep. It's pretty fucking weird. Like that is flat out like a stegosaurus or some shit. Like its head's a little weird.
Yeah.
But now I have heard people debunk this, and they say that there's like a lotus behind like what the fuck would live there? What could that be that actually lives there? Is there anything?
Jesus, I'm trying to think of what kind of animal this would be. Because I mean, when they make statues of lions down there, it don't look like a fucking lion.
Gotcha.
Right? So is this a tapir? I don't know.
Okay, because I'm sure.
Do they have tapirs in that part of the world?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think so. I think they're New World animals. I'm trying to think like a water buffalo or something like that. Maybe could make sense. Now the tail's weird, but it's the same thing as the descriptions of the behemoth in the Bible. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I don't know, man. Down to Angkor Wat, they got lions, and on there, instead of an asshole, they got a flower. So
that's awesome. Where were we?
Indeed.
Soft tissue found in dinosaurs, which is a video we went over, I believe, on the last episode. Dr. Mary Schweitzer and her team caught the world's attention with a science paper in 2005 that described intact blood vessels and red blood cells in a T-Rex bone. But in fact, secular scientists have been reporting soft tissue in dinosaurs for decades in sometimes seldom read technical literature. So that was definitely something that Jack Horner was behind. I brought him up earlier, how everything he says seems to be for grant money. And I stand by that because this is a really weird thing for the premier paleontologist to back. And now he doesn't say, like, none of this shit is about, like, dinosaurs are more recent than we expected. Like, that's not their take at all. But how the fuck can soft tissue survive for millions of years? It's still just mind-boggling. And nobody has a good answer for it. Maybe they're regenerating under the earth to come up at the end times.
Coming back.
Just like in Skyrim. Dinosaurs on Noah's Ark? In Genesis 6:19 through 20, the Bible says that 2 of every sort of land vertebrate, 7 pairs of the clean animals, were brought by God to the ark. Therefore, dinosaurs, land vertebrates, were represented on the ark. Does this also imply that dinosaurs are kosher? I think it might.
Komodo dragon is kosher?
I have to look into that one. Huh.
Yeah.
I want to Google that real quick.
Crocodile. Is crocodile kosher?
That's the better
It
one.
tastes like chicken. Tastes like chicken.
They're carnivores. It can't be kosher. So what does clean mean in this context?
Kosher?
It would. I don't fucking know. It would seem so. Whatever. Only some of the dinosaurs were kosher. Couldn't eat the raptors. Although there are about 668 names of dinosaurs, if only, dude, if there were 666 known dinosaurs, man, holy shit, that'd be something else. There are perhaps only 55 different kinds of dinosaurs. Kinds is a word that's used in the Bible, like it's saying here. God said to Noah to have a pair of every kind of animal, which to me also it grants some credence to like microevolution. It's leaving that open.
We can observe microevolution today with the koi wolves.
I agree that we observe microevolution, and the fact that we observe microevolution essentially proves macroevolution.
Well, I had a biology teacher who rejected that idea, even though she accepted one part of it.
Yeah. So anyway, furthermore, not all dinosaurs were huge like the Brachiosaurus, and even those dinosaurs in the Ark were probably teenagers or young adults. So they had the big dinosaurs, they just had small ones on the Ark. Were dragons real? Ancient historians and writers clearly believed creatures like dragons were real. They described seeing them firsthand, often in the context of other types of animals that still live today. Some historians even describe the fiery flying serpents as real creatures in regions near where Moses and Isaiah were, and point out the winged nature of these flying serpents. Such things are a great confirmation of the biblical text. The fiery flying serpents. This is a mix of different sources. Fiery flying serpents is the seraphim of the Bible. It is seen as both basically like a plague on Moses and his people while they were in the desert, and also as an order of angel. Not sure how to parse that.
Not good angel?
What?
Not good angel? Wow.
No, it is a good angel. Dude, when God BTFOs the Hebrews, like he's being good. That's the story of the Bible. Like if you anyone out there, if you don't believe me, read the Bible. That's the story of the Bible. The Hebrews misbehave, God BTFOs them, and it's all good. That's the Bible. So the fiery flying serpents, like the translation is often questioned. Fiery is also, it's said that was the word for venomous in the ancient Hebrew language. That they would use the word like burning or fiery when something was like when something was venomous, or like you were bit by a venomous creature or something like that. So it could be a plague of actual venomous serpents.
Some snakes can like spit their venom, right?
Yes. I don't know about in that area, but I know in India they can. Right? India? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows?
Well, India today, Egypt 6,000 years ago.
They all wear fucking turbans. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now aside from that, I believe I might be wrong about this, but it's one of these guys, like Josephus or someone like that, would talk about flying reptiles that would like terrorize people in the Middle East. what sounds like a small pterosaur. So that is in some historical accounts, most definitely. Are birds evolved dinosaurs? Having a true bird appear in the fossil record before alleged feathered dinosaurs, no mechanism to change scales into feathers, no mechanism to change your reptilian respiratory system into an avian respiratory system, and no legitimate dinosaurs found with feathers are all that's a hilarious sentence. Are all good indications that dinosaurs didn't turn into birds. So
Where's Pollock when we need him to be like, I got a chicken with teeth?
So, having a true bird appear in fossil record before alleged feathered dinosaurs. I would like to see the proof on that one. I'm not sure about that. I think what they may be I don't know what they're referring to because I flat out don't think that's true. Some of the earliest dinosaurs have evidence of feathers. So I flat out just don't think that's true.
Well, there's that brand of jackets with the winged dino bird that's doing a backflip thing on his side. You seen that?
Hell yeah.
It's like unpronounceable name.
No mechanism to change scales into feathers. I flat out don't think that's true. I think we have seen like what was the word? Filaments, like early feathers coming off of dinosaurs. Like sounds exactly like what that is to me. I don't know. No mechanism to change a reptilian respiratory system into an avian respiratory system. I flat out don't know how much information we have on dinosaur respiratory systems. So I just don't know about that. Maybe I'll look into all this shit. Maybe I won't. And no legitimate dinosaurs found with feathers. What the fuck is a legitimate dinosaur?
You know, a dinosaur without feathers.
Yeah.
I'm cherry picking here.
I have no idea what the fuck that means. Whatever. The evidence is consistent with what the Bible teaches about birds being unique and created after their kinds. Like, fine if you want to see it that way, but like, kind means almost nothing. So whatever. Genesis is clear that God didn't make birds from pre-existing dinosaurs. In fact, dinosaurs, land animals made on day 6, came after winged creatures made on day 5, according to the Bible. Both biblically and scientifically, chicken eaters around the world can rest easy. They aren't eating mutant dinosaurs. Got 'em. So that's interesting. So land animals came after the winged creatures. I would like to look into that. I believe the first time that modern science says that powered flight evolved was the pterosaurs. Now, I don't know what the fuck came first, the pterosaur or the dinosaur, but like, don't really make a difference to me. But I can see why like the fundamentalist Christians would take that as like actual evidence. That's like the first thing here I can't really like completely discount. I can't be like, oh, there were actually these creatures that evolved before dinosaurs that flew. Whatever. Dinosaur.
My personal verbatim interpretation of the Bible is the proof of everything, right? So,
but if you're going to live your life as a Christian, like that's your motivation for your life, and I do believe it will lead to good things for you. Is it not better that you just believe it?
I don't
know. Me either. That's not the way I operate. Television programs, thousands of books, and countless hours of research by thousands of qualified scientists have been devoted to studying dinosaurs. Is there an answer to their mystery? Sadly, many of the materials produced on the topic of dinosaurs teach parents and children evolutionary ideas and lead them away from believing the Bible. So, propaganda, which, yeah, sure. Hollywood movies, propaganda, check. Steven Spielberg, propaganda, check. I'm with you there. What happened to the dinosaurs? After Noah's flood around 4,300 years ago, the remnant of the land animals, including dinosaurs, came off the ark and lived in the present world along with people. Because of sin, the judgments of the curse in Eden and the flood of Noah's day have greatly changed Earth over the past 6,000 years. Post-flood climatic changes, lack of food, disease, and man's activities caused many types of animals to become extinct. The dinosaurs, like many other creatures, died out. So the idea is that in the Garden of Eden, the Earth was perfect. There were no storms, there were no earthquakes, there was no disease, there was no death. Not until man ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, at which point he was kicked out of the garden and he was sent to toil and labor in the land, in like the land outside of Eden, which wasn't so great. Now, yet the Earth was still a very different place, and it accommodated very different life. They say larger humans, larger animals in general, but larger humans that lived like 1,000 years. So it seems like the atmosphere and the climate and the Earth itself was just made for man at that point. It was very conducive to us. But because of man's overwhelming sin, because his heart and his mind were evil all the time continually, the Earth was destroyed in a flood by God. This changed the Earth drastically. And where there were no storms, where water would come up from springs under the earth and a mist from above the earth, very gently to give man all his needs, no longer. Now, Earth had split apart. There's giant oceans. There's storms that happen. All of the shit that we know today. The reason, like, and God says man will live no longer than X amount of years. I forget what it is. It's like 120 years or something. And that will be the span of man's life now. And it's because of these changes in the Earth. And now, this is saying that the dinosaurs continued to live after those changes, but they couldn't acclimate themselves to it. They became smaller, more sickly, less numerous, until they were just no more. Conclusion: dinosaurs as missionary lizards.
Well,
I believe that they're the doggy style lizards, personally. As Christians, we can use dinosaurs as doggy style lizards. We can take what is popular with the culture and show how God's word explains it better. For example, soft tissue like blood vessels and red blood cells has been found in dinosaur bones. This soft tissue couldn't last millions of years. The fossils confirm a young Earth. We can use dinosaurs to help trust the history of the Bible and also trust in the message of Jesus Christ that is also found in God's word. Are you sold?
I don't see why we have to use natural science to prove the Bible, but I'm not Thomas Aquinas, so.
Well, if you're your average fundamentalist, you probably shouldn't have to. However, someone's going to fucking do it. The Muslims always like doing this crap too. What can I say?
Salam alaikum. Alaikum and salam.
Alaikum salam. All right. What do I have here that I can pull up that isn't going to take me 3 hours to read? If I just get going, we can rip roar right through this bitch. It's a long one.
So how do we get from dino jokers to monkey jokers on the evolutionary tree?
That's a good question. I believe that has something to do with Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon is my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Does he got, like, plates like a stegosaur, or?
Well, who's that? Who are we talking about now?
Dimetrodon.
Dimetrodon? He had a big sail that would supposedly regulate his body temperature. Now, Dimetrodon is interesting because it is not a dinosaur. It is a proto-mammal. So they say, like, yeah, it's my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Love that guy. Got a Dino Cloaca mention in the chat from Rafflamau. I can't drink right now. I got work later. Glowing dino pussy hits different, Lemon says. Monsignor says, microevolution is real. Mammoth dropping its fur because it's hot outside and becoming elephant. Yeah, sounds legit. But growing wings, for example, is impossible to explain through microevolution. I don't think it is. I think it's just a different time frame. I don't think
Well, I
it.
ain't seen no elephants with wings, so when pigs fly, I guess elephants will too.
And the mammoth doesn't like mammoth dropping its fur because it's hot outside and becoming the elephant. Like, I don't think that's what happened. There were like a lot of mammoth or elephant style species, kinds, as you would, like what the Bible would say. And
Aurex.
yeah, that fur is always there as a mutation, and it has been there in the past. It was carried into different environments, but I think the fact of the matter is, like, there were elephant species, many different elephant species all over the earth that retained different characteristics for very long periods of time. That genetically, I don't know how similar, because that's the question, is like, could a mammoth mate with an elephant? And we don't have the answer to that. Like, we know we could probably put a mammoth embryo into an elephant, but that's a whole different thing. So I don't know. It's not like the mammoth lost its fur and is now an elephant. Like, that's a totally different species that hasn't had large amounts of fur for a long time. So these little mutations, like, I can see them cropping up. And, like, wings are a much more complicated thing, most definitely. But when I look at, like, the structure of a bat's wings, I see hands, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that would totally throw that off in my mind is if you had, like, the classic European dragon, which has, like, extra limbs. So you have the 4 legs and wings. Well, that would fuck up that whole goddamn thing, most definitely.
Have you seen how Europeans be drawing other animals they ain't never seen?
That's true. They look stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Griffin Stoner says,
least.
young Earth creationism sucks because if we're all from Adam, then I'm not related to cool animals like Gorgonopsids or Dimetrodon. That's true.
Truth.
That's what I'm saying. Alright, so how do I handle this? I'm trying to decide if I want to fucking read more bullshit or if I want to, like... Well, I'm going to read more bullshit either way. All I've got is bullshit to read. Let's go to this article about the Loch Ness Monster. Loch Ness Monster's existence plausible, scientists say, after breakthrough discovery. The Loch Ness Monster's existence is plausible, scientists have admitted, finally. Those who believe in the mythical monster say she could be an animal similar to a plesiosaur, a large, long-necked marine reptile which lived between 215 million and 66 million years ago. Like the rest of the dinosaurs, these creatures have been extinct ever since. Over the years, many experts have questioned whether a plesiosaur-style creature would have been able to survive in Loch Ness's fresh water, as the prehistoric beast lived in salt water. But researchers at the universities of Bath and Portsmouth, and University Hassan II in Morocco, dude, Hassan III was just announced at E3. They have discovered small plesiosaur fossils in a 100 million year old freshwater river system in the Sahara Desert. The group of scientists found bones and teeth from adult plesiosaurs as well as an arm bone from a baby one. Evidence now suggests that these long-gone reptiles lived and fed in fresh water, changing the game for Nessie believers. The University of Bath said that the existence of Nessie may be plausible, but they warned that all available evidence suggests plesiosaurs died out long ago. Plesiosaurs weren't confined to the seas. They did inhabit fresh water, they said, the evidence demonstrated. But the fossil record also suggests that after almost 150 million years, the last plesiosaurs finally died out at the same time as the dinosaurs, 66 million years ago. David Martill, co-author of the group's paper in Cretaceous Research, said, "What amazes me is that the ancient Moroccan river contains so many carnivores all living alongside each other. This was no place to go for a swim." So, this new evidence suggesting that plesiosaurs did inhabit fresh water now makes Loch Ness more believable. And I was never a guy who believed in the Loch Ness Monster. That was kind of never my thing. It's evolved, the idea of the Loch Ness Monster has evolved so much over time that it's hard for me to buy into. Like, it started out as, you got like legends of like dragons from back in the day, from way back. And then you start to have legends of like more of a formless creature. Like it becomes like a blob at one point, just like a formless blob that's stretching out and scooting about the shores outside Loch Ness. Then it starts to turn into, now we're hitting like the early 1900s here, and we're starting to hit what like we're more recognizing as a dinosaur. It starts to take on the classic dinosaur shape of the day, and that's why you always see Nessie with its neck up high, like the swan neck, which you never see plesiosaurs postured that way. Like that would break their fucking necks. So, like at that point, you get into more of like the fad dinosaur of the time. And then as you go on from there, it kind of goes out of style. Like you don't get as many mentions of the Loch Ness Monster. But what you do get is people with agendas. Creationists in particular trying to say that it is a living plesiosaur and it proves young Earth creationism. While you have people on the other side trying to prove that it's more of the scientific plesiosaur creature. But
right, you see, the sea reptile lungs evolved into freshwater reptile lungs before they became bird lungs.
That's true. But it's not like it's a stretch for a creature to inhabit both saltwater and fresh water. There's lots of animals that go between like that.
That never happens. Salmon don't exist.
The salmon, I've never seen the salmon. They extinct. Went extinct in the KT extinction. That great event. So, but I do think this feeds right into my idea that dinosaurs are coming back, baby. Let's go! Making a comeback. It's the end times. We get dinosaurs. It's all I've ever wanted, really. If I see a dinosaur, a living dinosaur, like I can die. It can eat me right there. I'm good.
You'll have to drink first because it's got a cloaca.
Cloaca. Can't drink. I got water. I can't drink right now.
No, but when you see the dinosaur.
Ah, that's true. Clint Eastwood Indoors says 66 million dinosaurs confirmed. PSYOP. That's true. We got fucking Alfarius Omegon in the chat who says, I don't know what that means. Clint Eastwood Indoors says CERN is bringing the dinosaurs back.
Makes sense.
Finally. Alfarius says, look, animals and be like goofk you. Are you okay, bud? You having a stroke? Do I have any more short content that's not going to take me forever? Do I call it now?
Have you seen that video of the alleged Wendigo that Pollock posted?
I did. I don't want to fucking burn that. Pollock fucking posted. I want to get Pollock in here, and then we can go over it.
Fair enough, yeah.
That's the way to do it.
It's fucking creepy, though.
There was a dinosaur in North Carolina. People spot dinosaur in North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, the latest in a sporadic series of monster sightings on Lake Norman, has appeared on a website called cryptozoology.com. A 35-year-old Mecklenburg County man told Cryptozoology he spotted the dinosaur-like creature Saturday morning while traveling on a boat with friends. We were near the lake's main channel and we saw something splashing around in the water, he told the website. The man described the creature as 10 feet long and reminiscent of the mythical Loch Ness Monster. It was visible for about a minute before dropping below the surface, he told the website. No photos were included with the article, posted on July 10th. The source was described as a salesman who declined to let his name be printed by cryptozoology.com, which reports sightings of cryptids, fabled animals, and strange occurrences. This is just the latest in an ongoing series of monster sightings on the man-made lake. A man-made lake? And there's a fucking dinosaur in it?
Yeah, and there's a salesman telling you about it. He's got no inherent investment in anything.
It's true. There's even a website called LakeNormanMonster.com that allows people to post their sightings. Most describe the creature, called Normie, as looking like the famed Loch Ness Monster that allegedly inhabits Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. A page is devoted to the Lake Norman Monster on the website unknownexplorers.com. I love these websites. These are the most reputable fucking websites I've ever heard in my life. And it notes there is currently no physical evidence to support the existence of a monster living in Lake Norman. The site speculates the sightings could involve a giant catfish or alligator gar. Descriptions of Normie vary from sighting to sighting and range from a crocodilian-like creature to the more classic three-humped serpent, says unknownexplorers.com. Most that have seen the Lake Norman monster seem to agree that the beast is more fish-like, with a slender body, thick whisker-like appendages, flippers, and a ragged-looking dorsal fin. The observer
catfish?
It do be sound like a catfish. The Observer has covered the ongoing Lake Norman sightings, which date back nearly 50 years. A few dozen witnesses have posted sightings on LakeNormanMonster.com, including some from last year. Descriptions range from a dinosaur-like monster to a giant snake with fins and thick whiskers. I was on a boat when a huge force from below knocked me overboard, posted John Eds of Huntersville last year. I got back onto my boat when I saw a Nessie-like sea monster swimming away from me. It looked about 15 feet long. 15 feet long, Sprouts! A witness
It's grown 5 feet.
It's true. A witness identified as Nate from Denver, North Carolina, posted he and his girlfriend saw the creature while on a jet ski in 2014. We both saw a large body come to the surface. It was dark and shiny in some spots, but it was at least 14 feet long. We both were scared to death. She is now scared to swim there, but I'm really curious. Good for him.
Somebody's going to be fish food.
It's true. That's true. I wouldn't swim with that motherfucker, but it's all just more evidence. Just more evidence that dinosaurs are returning to consume you. From the depths, from Agartha, from the center of the earth, from within the earth, from under the earth, regenerating their soft tissue right now as we speak.
How do you know it's just not mummified? I mean, moose, rodin, and all that or whatever, but...
Do you get soft tissue from, like, I mean, it depends on the time frame, but, like, if you go get a mummy from Egypt, are you going to get soft tissue?
Well, you've seen fucking Jurassic Park. They get the blood out of the mosquito, right?
Dinosaurs. Hell yeah.
Dinosaurs. Why not get the blood out of the dinosaur?
The dinosaurs. Get the blood from the Glacier Island carcass. How about that? Can we get the blood from the Glacier Island carcass? All right. Let's read the original article from 1930, from November 26th in 1930. Carcass of giant lizard-like creature found on Glacier Island. Cordova, Alaska, November 25th. Reports received from Valdez today said the carcass of a giant lizard-like creature with... Look, it's a little fucked up. It's in perfect condition. Had been found on Glacier Island. Near here. The strange creature, reported to be 42 feet long, including a tail measuring 16 feet, was believed to have been preserved since prehistoric times by being encased in ice in the upper reaches of the Columbia Glacier. The ice was believed to have worked its way gradually to the sea. The head was reported to be 6 feet long and the body 20 feet in length. A giant lizard-like creature found on Glacier Island in the ice. On November 26, 1930, the world was made aware of an amazing discovery that took place on Glacier Island, Alaska, on November 10th. It was on that day that Jerry O'Leary and Charles Gibson discovered the carcass of an unknown sea creature floating in Eagle Bay on Glacier Island. O'Leary, a fox farmer, and Gibson, his employee, were making their rounds to feed their foxes and spotted the carcass floating on its back amid the icebergs from the Columbia Glacier, 6 miles to the north. It was reported that the carcass was in excellent condition. This was credited to its preservation in the cold Arctic environment. O'Leary and Gibson managed to hook the carcass and slowly tow it back to shore, where they chopped off some of the exposed meat and hung it in the smokehouse, intending to use it as feed for the foxes.
Yeah, of course.
God.
I guessed that a few sentences back. I was like, they're gonna feed this to the foxes?
I fucking hate the Irish. Gibson described the meat as looking and smelling like horse meat. It's fucking weird. Word of the creature's existence reached Cordova, Alaska, and soon spread quickly around the globe like wildfire, though most Alaskans, as well as many other individuals worldwide, were understandably skeptical regarding these reports. The discovery sparked the interest of Charles Fleury of the U.S. Forest Service and W.J. McDonald, the district forest supervisor of the Chugach National Forest. McDonald launched a 6-man expedition to document the creature's remains. The Cordova Daily Times notified the Associated Press, and a reporter contacted Bernard Brown, a curator at the American Museum of Natural History. And you know when those motherfuckers get a hold of something, it disappears.
The ever reputable Associated Press. Wow.
Brown is quoted as saying, "So far, we know of no prehistoric animal of the description given in the Alaska dispatches. But if the creature was encased in ice, it must have lived when the ice was formed. The known prehistoric animals in Alaska are the mammoth, buffalo, actually the bison, and many small creatures, but none known by science that would reach the dimensions of the lizard-like creature, which the original description suggests." Upon their arrival at Glacier Island, McDonald and Brown were as shocked as anyone to actually lay eyes upon a large mystery carcass of a colossal, fur-bearing, reptilian-featured animal, which McDonald described as being shaped unlike any other creature known to have existed anywhere in the region. Now, the debunking of this is going to be... So it's a colossal, fur-bearing, reptilian-featured mammal. Someone's going to say this is some sort of whale.
Or a seal.
Well, I feel like it's just way too goddamn big to be a seal.
Well, maybe it's a seal ancestor.
I would expect this to be a normal-ass beluga whale. And I don't know where the fuck beluga whales exist and live. Or like an orca or some shit like that is what I would expect. Because if you look at the skulls of these whales, they look like nasty fucking predators. I could see someone who didn't know any better thinking that... Let me pull up a fucking skull, so I'm not just talking out my ass here. But I could see them seeing that and essentially seeing a dragon skull. Let's get this guy, because, yeah. Yeah, dude. That's the skull. That's the one, boy.
The ancient Greeks saw some like mammoth skulls or something, and were like, "Hey, that's a cyclops."
Yeah. So I have on screen the picture of a beluga whale's skull, and you can see it's like almost like crocodilian. If you were someone who didn't know any better and fucking saw that thing, would you immediately say it's a whale? What the fuck would you think it is? And I feel like maybe I would because I've seen so many images of this shit. But I don't know. So you have the reptilian-looking skull. The fur, it's a furry creature. Well, what happens when large sea creatures die and decompose?
I threw away something really moldy today.
Their flesh and their muscle starts to break down into white fibers. If you look up globster, if you search, I'll do it for you. I'm doing it. Let's do it. Globster. Globsters are like giant unidentified animals that would wash up on shore. So let's get an image of one of these motherfuckers. Let's get that shit. Here we have a globster. This is a unidentified carcass that is washed up on shore somewhere, and you see that it is nothing but white fibers. If you want a really interesting cryptid account, go find the account of Trunco. Maybe we'll do it next week or something. But Trunco was a giant sea creature seen off the coast of South Africa fighting 2 orcas. It was covered in white fur, and it had a trunk. It is said that this was a carcass of a whale. The white fur was all of this nasty flesh and muscle and fiber and shit like that. And the trunk was the spine that was coming off the front of the creature. So, like, these sorts of things are very common in cryptid sightings, especially from this era. And it's so common for the scientists to be like, oh, we got to go out there and see what the fuck it is. And they, like, wait 2 weeks, and then they get there, and there's just nothing left. That's what it would always happen. Now I'm pulling random shit up. What's chat got to say about any of this before we get to the end of it? Dinos ain't coming back. They never were. If great horrifying lizards roam the realm, dinosaur will be seen as an inaccurate description, my dude. That's true. Definitely not ruling out something called Dinosaurs Are Back. I'm just saying. That ain't one of God's creatures. But at the same time, like, I think everything is God's. Like, the judgment is God's. The horrifying abominations that spill out from beneath the earth are God's judgment. Like, everything is God's creature, whether it likes it or not, right? Right? Griffin Stoner says, some feathers can look like hair. If dinosaurs had feathers, it makes sense that dinosaurs living in cold areas might look furry. That's true, and there are accounts of that in cryptid sightings. Now, one thing, a lot of the feathers that are seen on dinosaurs aren't what we'd call feathers today. They are just like strands, single strands. So it would look like fur. FEMA camp band leader says, I ain't buying sightings of big normie. Fuck off. Oh, God. Literally sounds like a marketing scheme created by boomers, Clint Eastwood Doors says. Nice. All right. Back on topic. All right, where was I here? Fur, reptilian feature, shaped unlike any other creature known to have existed anywhere in the region, which to me sounds like a misidentified whale. Because, of course, you're thinking like land animal. Measurements taken by the McDonald expedition were much more thorough than those previously reported during the initial discovery. According to McDonald, the head, which he described as being much like that of an elephant, was just over 4.9 feet, which is huge, but this shit is always exaggerated. The snout, from the center of the forehead to the tip, was 3.25 feet in length, and the width of the trunk-like appendage, this is fucking Trunko, was 11 inches at midsection with 2.5 feet circumference. If you go through, like, man, like, look up, like, fuck, can I even find it? Decomposing plesiosaur. Yes, all right. Thank you, Tumblr. Here, this is said to be a decomposing plesiosaur. Very interesting image. You have the long neck in the front. Well, this is actually a basking shark. The corpse of a basking shark. That's its spine. You can see through the process of decomposition, the flesh and the tissue and the muscle and everything is becoming those white fibers. You can see the process happening. It's not as far along. You can see how that spine would be seen as a trunk. Furthermore, saying that the flesh was like that of a horse, giving it such mammalian features there, just makes it sound like a whale to me. So that's where I'm going with this. No, dinosaurs are back. This is actually the return of the dinosaurs. Got to stay on fucking topic here, on brand. The body section from the back of the head to the end of the rib cage was 6 feet 2 inches, and the dinosaur-like tail was 14 feet long. The head attached directly to the torso with no visible neck. The skeleton's flippers were 3 feet 11 inches long with an average width of 8 inches. The width of the skeleton at its widest part was 3 feet 2 inches, not including the flippers. It contained 37 vertebrae, and it was thought that the skeleton was missing a few on the tail. The total length of the carcass was 24 feet. The description of the creature's trunk-like appendage, fur-covered flesh, and elephantine skull, like, I didn't hear that at all. They did not say that. They said reptilian. Whatever. Has led many researchers to believe that the animal, which McDonald seemed so thoroughly examined, was probably the badly decomposed carcass of a woolly mammoth. That doesn't sound right at all. Don't sound right at all to me. There are other accounts, however, that claim the cadaver found on Glacier Island was completely reptilian, and even more which claim that it had no discernible head at all, just a trunk-like appendage jutting out where the head might ordinarily have been. This account, along with the reports of the beast's hair-covered torso, seem amazingly similar to the description of the natal carcass, more commonly referred to as trunco by cryptozoologists. Well, there it is. So the second description sounds much, much more likely to me. Like I've just shown you pictures of the exact thing that second description claims. The decomposed carcass of a woolly mammoth sounds silly as fuck because there was no elephant reference till halfway through this article when it suddenly said trunk. These observations, along with the creature's purportedly dinosaur-like tail, would seem to rule out the theory given by so many modern researchers that the animal was nothing more than a preserved mastodon. It was McDonald's belief that the creature was not indigenous to Glacier Island, but the animal had become encased in the Columbia Glacier and carried off to sea, at which point it was deposited on the Alaskan island. So now, I don't know that, like, Trunco is any more likely. So, Trunco is seen off the coast of South Africa and in Alaska. Fucking strange. But at the same time, like, orcas can be found fucking everywhere, so who the fuck knows? Sadly, not long after the discovery, the carcass, which remained on the shore of the island, unable to safely move due to the size and possible fragility, was eventually washed back out to sea from which it came with the tide. No expedition to retrieve the carcass ever took place, and all interest in it eventually fizzled out. Was it a dinosaur? Was it the carcass of a fucking whale? Was it a mastodon encased in ice? We'll never know. Washed out to sea. It do be sounding like a fucking, like a whale carcass, though. Absolutely. It absolutely do. Let's go back to that chat. Narwhal is the original whale. Everything else is a mutant, FEMA camp band leader says. Some feathers can look like hair. Some feathers can look like hair. Read that already. Yeah, like I was saying, filaments is what it's called. The hair-like follicles or whatever that preceded actual feathers are just like single filament strands. Yep. FEMA camp band leader says, pretty sure that the flood and all was God cleaning out the results of the sinners against beast and man. If odd extinct animals are coming around, God might take issue. The reason for the flood in the Bible is made very, very clear. A lot of people want to say it's the Nephilim or the giants or whatever. And yeah, that's mentioned. But the reason for the flood is because the wickedness in man's heart was never ceasing. The only person on earth that wasn't wickedness all the time was Noah and maybe his family members. And that is the reason for the biblical flood. Replaced goat mammaries with spider-derived silk gland tissue to produce tons of spider silk for body armor. And, well, a lot of stuff, to be honest. Spider silk is pretty useful as far as I know. We were actually mentioning that earlier. So you're saying that they, like, made goats fucking piss out spider silk? They do be God's creatures. Just because they're being mistreated don't mean they ain't God's creatures. Yeah, judgment's coming. Judgment is coming. Don't you worry about it. The end times are coming. The Mark of the Beast system. The system is here. The Mark of the Beast is on its way. You'll know when they want to cut your head off over it. Yeah, and dinosaurs are coming back. So basically, go to yakovalive.com, hit that merch tab, listen to the podcast. Patreon.com/yakovalive. You want to come hang out in the Discord. What else I got? Find me on Twitter, @Skinwalker Gang. And motherfuckers, I will see you soon enough with more evidence of the return of the dinosaurs for the end times. We're there, boys! And there's no one I'd rather spend the end of all things with than you. So whoop whoop, everybody.